The courtroom fell silent. So silent that you could hear the faint tapping of a reporter's pen. And then, in one chilling move that nobody saw coming, the judge slammed his gavel and sealed Kendrick Lamar's contract and Drake's explosive war with UMG. This wasn't just legal paperwork. This was the kind of power play that could flip the entire music industry upside down. Imagine the tension. Drake pacing like a man ready to explode. Kendrick's name echoing across whispered conversations and UMG's executives scrambling, as if their empire was slipping through their fingers. Fans across social media are already screaming, "What's in that contract? Why would it be sealed? And what are they hiding from us?" The theories are spiraling out of control. Some say the contract contains Kendrick's secret deal to sabotage Drake. Others insist it proves UMG has been manipulating streams, pitting artists against each other in ways darker than anyone imagined. And the wildest rumor, that this contract doesn't just involve music hit, involves legacy, ownership, and billions in hidden profits. This is bigger than beef, bigger than awards, bigger than diss tracks. What just went down in that courtroom could destroy careers, crown a new king of hip-hop, and expose the dirty secrets the industry never wanted the public to see. And trust me, what happens next will leave you absolutely stunned. When the news broke that a federal judge had officially sealed Kendrick Lamar's contract in Drake's high-stakes battle with Universal Music Group, fans didn't just gasp, they went into complete meltdown. This wasn't just some label dispute. This was about power, loyalty, betrayal, and the ugly truth behind the billion-dollar machine that controls hip-hop's biggest names. To understand how we got here, you need to rewind to the storm that has been brewing for years between Drake and UMG, and how Kendrick's quiet, calculated, and lethal ended up at the very center of it all. For years, Drake has been UMG's golden child, the artist who could single-handedly dominate charts, break streaming records, and turn albums into cultural moments overnight. But behind the glamour, whispers grew louder. Drake wasn't happy. According to alleged insider texts, he felt like UMG was siphoning profits, tying him down with restrictive contracts, and, worst of all, sabotaging him by secretly propping up his rivals. One leaked DM supposedly showed Drake confiding to a close associate, "They think I can't see it, but I know the numbers don't add up. Somebody's playing me dirty." At first, fans brushed it off as paranoia. But then came the suspicious moves. Chart placements where Kendrick mysteriously leapfrogged Drake even when their release numbers didn't seem to match. Coincidence? Some fans asked. Others weren't so sure. Online forums blew up with claims that UMG was funneling hidden marketing budgets into Kendrick's releases, quietly preparing him to replace Drake as the crown jewel of the label. And if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear about the secret meetings. A fake, but viral insider leak circulated last year, claiming UMG executives were caught in a heated argument after Drake refused to sign a new extension. In the supposed transcript, one exec snapped, "If he walks, we've got Kendrick ready. He's hungrier, he's cleaner, and he's not going to question our books." Another allegedly replied, "Seal the deal with Kendrick before Drake makes his move." That one rumor alone sent fans into a frenzy, dividing the internet into two camps. On one side, the Drake loyalists, swearing their idol was being robbed of his legacy. On the other, Kendrick supporters who argued that maybe it was time for Drake to step aside and let the real artist take the throne. Twitter threads exploded with hashtags like #Drake vs the Machine and #KDOT ContractGate. Each side armed with conspiracy theories, memes, and doctored screenshots of supposed UMG spreadsheets. But the tension didn't just stay online. Industry insiders began noticing strange moves. Drake's collaborations suddenly slowed down, and rumors swirled that he was holding back music until he could fight UMG in court. Meanwhile, Kendrick dropped carefully timed performances that shook the culture to its core, like his legendary festival set where fans swore he declared war without saying a word. Every verse, every stage move felt like a subtle jab at Drake, and fans ate it up. Then came the lawsuit. Documents surfaced showing Drake's legal team filing against UMG, accusing the label of fraudulent accounting practices and unlawful interference with artist independence. And tucked deep inside that case, mentions of Kendrick Lamar's contract. At first, it seemed like a throwaway detail, but then whispers started. Why was Kendrick's contract even part of Drake's legal war? What could possibly be inside those pages that made it so sensitive? Court insiders later claimed that during a tense hearing, Drake's lawyers demanded Kendrick's contract be unsealed, arguing it would prove UMG's favoritism and manipulation. But UMG's attorneys fought back fiercely, insisting it was confidential, privileged, and explosive if leaked. That word explosive is what changed everything. Within hours, blogs and gossip sites were screaming headlines like "What's UMG hiding in Kendrick's contract?" And Drake says contract will destroy UMG's reputation. And just when fans thought it couldn't get crazier, the judge dropped the bomb. Kendrick's contract would indeed be sealed indefinitely. That decision alone ignited chaos. Why seal it unless there was something damning inside? Why protect Kendrick and UMG while Drake was left swinging in the open? The secrecy only fueled more speculation, and fans demanded answers. Across TikTok, creators went viral with theories ranging from the ridiculous to the terrifying. One claimed the contract proves Kendrick was guaranteed Grammy wins. Another said it showed UMG owns unreleased Drake music. A third went darker, alleging it involved life insurance policies on artists and hinted at something sinister behind the scenes. Each theory pulled fans deeper into the drama, and the hashtag sealed contract dominated trending lists for days. The irony: Kendrick himself has remained silent. Not a tweet, not an interview, not even a cryptic lyric addressing the chaos. His silence has only amplified the mystery. Drake, meanwhile, has been anything but silent, posting cryptic Instagram stories, dropping bars about snakes and suits, and even liking shady tweets that called UMG the real enemy. Every move adds fuel to the fire, painting a picture of a man pushed to the edge, ready to risk everything to expose the truth. And now, with the judge's decision to seal Kendrick's contract, the question isn't just about who wins this war, it's about what secrets are so dangerous they had to be buried in the first place. Fans, insiders, even rival artists are asking, what is UMG hiding? And more importantly, how far is Drake willing to go to bring it all to light? The day of the courtroom showdown didn't feel like an ordinary legal hearing, felt like a heavyweight championship match disguised in suits and ties. Reporters packed every bench. Phones were banned inside, but that didn't stop people from sketching out word-for-word playbacks of what went down. Outside, fans gathered with signs, some screaming "Free Drake," while others chanted "K. the King." The atmosphere was so electric. It was as if the entire hip-hop culture was on trial. Drake entered the courtroom with his entourage, wearing a dark suit, but carrying the aura of a man who had been betrayed one too many times. His expression was cold, jaw clenched, eyes locked on the UMG attorneys sitting across the aisle. One fan who allegedly sneaked in whispered later on Twitter, "Drake didn't look like a rapper today, he looked like a man ready for war." UMG's representatives, polished and smug, seemed almost confident. Their secret weapon, Kendrick Lamar's sealed contract. They believed locking it away would keep their empire safe. But Drake wasn't about to let it slide. In a fiery opening statement, his attorney declared, "What UMG fears is not the truth, it's exposure." The sealed contract is proof of a conspiracy to manipulate, defraud, and dethrone my client. We demand the truth be brought to light." The room reportedly shook with murmurs. Court insiders leaked that UMG's lawyers instantly objected. Their lead counsel snapping back. "This is irrelevant. Kendrick Lamar is not on trial here. Drake is waging a personal vendetta against the very company that made him." But Drake leaned forward, eyes burning, and muttered loud enough for nearby reporters to hear. "They made me. They used me." That line went viral the moment it leaked, clipped into TikTok edits with dramatic music and captions like, "Drake's finally speaking his truth." Then came the first bombshell. Drake's legal team presented what they claimed was a leaked internal email chain between UMG executives. The emails allegedly revealed discussions about funneling marketing budgets away from Drake's releases and into Kendrick's. One line, supposedly written by a top exec, read, "Shift resources. Kendrick is the future. Drake is expensive baggage." Another chilling sentence said, "Seal the contract. Don't let him use it against us." Whether real or fabricated, the impact was devastating. Fans outside the courthouse erupted in chants, and hashtag UMG Exposed started trending within minutes. Twitter exploded with screenshots, fan theories, and reaction memes. Some wrote, "So it's truth, they've been sabotaging Drake all along." Others countered, "Drake's team made this up. Kendrick doesn't need UMG to shine, he's pure talent, pure talent." But just when it looked like Drake had landed his first knockout punch, the judge shocked everyone by ruling that Kendrick's contract would remain sealed. The gavel hit, and with it, Drake's composure cracked. "Eyewitnesses claimed," Drake muttered under his breath, "this is bigger than me. Way bigger." The mystery deepened. What could be inside those documents that even a courtroom wouldn't allow to see daylight? And that's when the whispers began. A fake but plausible insider leak surfaced online, claiming to know part of what the contract contained. According to the viral thread, Kendrick's contract supposedly guaranteed him cultural priority, meaning UMG would use every tool possible to position him as hip-hop's face over all competitors. This included alleged promises of streaming boosts, award show influence, and even collaboration blockades where other artists were persuaded not to work with Drake. One jaw-dropping line from the supposed leak read, "No feature shall be cleared for Drake without prior approval, ensuring Kendrick maintains dominance." Fans went berserk. Some called it the death of fair competition in music. Others said it proved that Drake's paranoia was justified all along. Drake's reaction: fury. After the hearing, paparazzi caught him storming out, slamming his car door so hard the video alone racked up millions of views in hours. Later that night, he posted a cryptic Instagram story, a snake emoji slithering over a microphone. No caption, no words, just symbolism. Fans instantly decoded it as his shot at UMG and Kendrick, with replies like he's calling them snakes in suits. Meanwhile, Kendrick remained completely silent, which only added gasoline to the fire. Silence from him felt louder than words. Fans tweeted, "Kendrick knows what's in that contract. That's why he's keeping quiet." Others suggested Kendrick was letting Drake dig his own grave by unraveling publicly. But then came the twist nobody saw coming. A mysterious audio recording leaked online, allegedly capturing a heated phone call between two UMG executives. In the clip, a voice claimed to be one exec says, "Drake's making too much noise. If that contract ever sees daylight, we're finished." The other voice replied, "Relax, Kendrick's locked in. He's untouchable. Even the judge knows better than to let that out." The audio spread like wildfire across YouTube, Twitter, and Reddit. Some said it was AI-generated Others swore it was real. Either way, the perception was clear. UMG wasn't just hiding a contract, they were hiding a weapon. And Kendrick Lamar was at the center of it. By the next morning, media outlets had picked it up. Headlines screamed, "Leaked audio suggests UMG cover-up in Kendrick contract." And Drake was right. Industry conspiracy unfolding. Industry blogs dissected every second of the recording, and one prominent journalist tweeted, "If this audio is legit, UMG might be facing the biggest scandal in music history." Drake's supporters felt vindicated, while Kendrick's camp was dragged into an inferno they never publicly addressed. The silence only created more chaos, and the question grew louder. What exactly is Kendrick gaining from UMG, and why is it worth burying? And just when the flames were at their highest, another twist dropped. A hacker group claimed on Telegram that they had obtained part of the sealed contract and threatened to leak it unless UMG paid them off. Screenshots supposedly showing a clause titled Cultural Positioning Agreement began circulating. Whether fake or real, the damage was already done. The idea of a corporate conspiracy wasn't just fan fiction anymore. It felt tangible. Drake's team reportedly went into overdrive, strategizing their next move, while UMG stayed eerily silent. And Kendrick? Still no response. That silence turned him into a mystery, a ghostly figure at the center of a storm. But one thing was certain, this wasn't just about contracts anymore. This was about control of hip-hop's throne, as the world tried to process what had just unfolded. One terrifying thought hung in the air. If Kendrick's contract is this dangerous, what else has UMG been hiding all along? The morning after the hacker group's bombshell claim, the internet didn't just wake up, erupted. Every blog, every gossip page, every fan account was screaming the same question. Did hackers just prove Drake's war with UMG is real? Screenshots of the supposed cultural positioning agreement clause went viral within hours. The wording was cryptic but terrifying. Artists shall be prioritized in all cultural, award, and commercial domains to ensure dominance of narrative and market share. Fans began stitching together wild theories. Some swore this meant Kendrick's Grammy sweep had been orchestrated. Others said it explained why Drake's last album rollout felt sabotaged, why ads mysteriously disappeared overnight, why playlists pushed Kendrick harder, why awards panels suddenly leaned his way. Twitter threads popped up with side-by-side charts comparing Drake's streaming drops to Kendrick's suspicious surges. The hashtag the fix is trended for 2 straight days. Drake, sensing blood in the water, pounced. His team allegedly leaked a screenshot of a private group chat where Drake told close friends, "This isn't about Kendrick, it's about the machine using him." But they picked the wrong man to silence. That one line set the internet ablaze. Fans started reframing the drama as Drake versus the industry, not just Drake versus Kendrick. But then, out of nowhere, came the shocking reveal that pushed the drama into overdrive. A well-known investigative blogger dropped a video claiming that the sealed contract contained a clause giving UMG ownership rights to not only Kendrick's music, but allegedly portions of unreleased Drake material as well. According to my source, the blogger said, there's evidence that UMG cross-levered Drake's unreleased catalog to secure Kendrick's contract renewal. If true, that means Drake's own music was used as a bargaining chip against him. The video racked up millions of views overnight, spawning conspiracy charts and wild YouTube explainers titled things like, "Drake got played by his own label and Kendrick's contract is the smoking gun." Fans couldn't believe it happened. Could UMG possibly tie one artist's future to another's catalog? But the possibility felt too juicy, too believable in the shady world of music industry politics. Industry insiders began whispering too. A leaked voicemail surfaced, supposedly of a UMG assistant leaving a panicked message. They know about the cross-catalog clause. If it leaks, we're dead. Whether real or fake, the audio added gasoline to the fire. Fans slowed it, downmatched it with LinkedIn profiles, and swore they knew exactly whose voice it was. Meanwhile, other artists started chiming in, some subtly, some directly. Meek Mill tweeted, "Told y'all the label games was dirty. Now the world sees it." J. Cole dropped a cryptic Instagram story, a chessboard with the caption, "Protect your queen." Even 50 Cent, never one to stay quiet, laughed on live saying, "Man, I told you these suits is gangsters." Drake out here fighting the mob. Each reaction poured more fuel onto the already raging inferno. But the real kicker came when an anonymous Reddit user claiming to be a paralegal tied to the case posted a chilling statement. The reason the judge sealed Kendrick's contract isn't because of him. It's because if the details come out, it proves UMG violated federal antitrust laws. We're talking billions in damages. Careers will be destroyed, maybe even the label itself. The post was deleted within minutes, but screenshots spread everywhere. Fans started calling it the hashtag nuclear leak. If true, it meant this wasn't just Drake fighting for his career. This was a case that could potentially dismantle UMG's entire empire. And yet, through all the chaos, Kendrick remained silent. That silence became its own weapon. Every day, he refused to speak. Fans grew more paranoid. Some said he was scared, others claimed he was complicit, and a few argued he was simply watching Drake implode. TikTok videos with millions of views asked, "Why won't Kendrick say a single word? Drake, however, refused to stay quiet. In his first public statement since the judge sealed the contract, he addressed fans on stage during a surprise club performance. Looking visibly emotional, he said into the mic, "They think they can bury the truth. They think they can bury me, but I'm still here. And I promise you, they can seal contracts, but they can't seal the truth forever." The crowd roared, clips went viral, and fans began chanting, "Free the contract" across social media. The war wasn't just legal anymore, it was cultural. It became a movement. Influencers jumped in, making skits mocking UMG. Protesters even gathered outside UMG's Los Angeles office, holding signs that read, "Transparency now" and "Stop the fix." A video from one protester shouting, "Unseal Kendrick's deal," hit over 10 million views on Twitter. But just when people thought the situation couldn't escalate further, the shocking reveal dropped. According to yet another insider report, Drake's team discovered a second sealed document tied to Kendrick's contract. This one allegedly contained an artist succession plan, a blueprint detailing how UMG planned to phase Drake out while elevating Kendrick as the undisputed face of hip-hop for the next decade. The supposed document laid out chilling steps: freezing Drake's collaborations, limiting his playlist placements, influencing award committees, and even planting negative press stories to weaken his brand. Fans who read the leaked summary couldn't believe their eyes. Was this real? Or was Drake orchestrating a masterclass in controlled leaks to rally public opinion? Either way, the perception was enough to shake the industry to its core. News outlets went into overdrive. CNN ran a segment titled "Music Industry in Crisis: Drake versus UMG." Rolling Stone dropped a feature, questioning whether this was hip-hop's Watergate. Social media felt like it was on fire, and the war wasn't slowing down, it was spiraling out of control. And the most terrifying part, if these leaks were true, Kendrick's silence might not just be strategy, might be part of the deal itself. Rumors swirled that one clause in the contract restricted him from publicly addressing label disputes, effectively gagging him while UMG waged war on his behalf. Drake knew one thing for sure: if he didn't fight back harder, his career ended. Possibly the entire future of independent hip-hop was on the line. The world was watching. The industry was shaking. And somewhere in the shadows, UMG was smiling. Because if this was only the beginning, the next chapter could be even darker. The fallout from the alleged leaks didn't just spark debates, it set the entire music world ablaze. Social media became a battlefield, with hashtags like #FreeTheContract, #Drake vs UMG, and #KDOTGate dominating feeds. Everyone had an opinion, and nobody was holding back. Fans loyal to Drake flooded timelines with emotional posts. One viral tweet read, "They tried to erase Michael Jackson. Are they trying to erase Drake? We won't let history repeat itself." It gained over 400,000 likes in a single night. Another wrote, "If Kendrick's contract is clean, why seal it? Silence is guilt." Kendrick supporters clapped back hard. A viral TikTok featuring clips of Kendrick's iconic verses was captioned, "You don't need a machine when you are the machine." It blew up with millions of views, sparking debates in the comments. Kendrick's camp didn't need words, his fans did the fighting for him. And then came the celebrity voices. Cardi B went live on Instagram, shaking her head as she said, "Man, these labels been doing shady stuff forever. If they can do it to Drake, they can do it to anybody." The clip went viral instantly, with fans calling her brave for siding. With transparency, 50 Cent, always ready for chaos, added fuel. "Told you UMG don't play fair. Drake better watch his back, they gangsta in suits." His comments sparked headlines like 50 Cent warns Drake about UMG retaliation. But not everyone was sympathetic. Charlamagne Tha God went on The Breakfast Club and dismissed Drake's fight as ego-driven. "This ain't about contracts. This is about Drake realizing he's not the center of the universe anymore." Kendrick earned his spot. Clips of Charlamagne's rant flooded Twitter, sparking fierce debates. Meanwhile, fans organized. A Change.org petition titled "Unseal Kendrick's Contract" racked up over 200,000 signatures in 48 hours. Protesters gathered outside UMG headquarters with megaphones, chanting, "Transparency, not tyranny." Videos of the demonstrations went viral, especially one where a fan yelled, "If the contract is sealed, the truth is buried." Media outlets jumped on the frenzy. TMZ released shaky footage of Drake leaving a studio late at night, visibly angry, yelling at someone on the phone, "They're not gonna bury me alive. Not me." Within hours, the clip hit 10 million views. Rolling Stone published a feature titled "The Day Drake Declared War on the Industry," framing him as a lone soldier against a billion-dollar machine. Even late-night hosts couldn't resist. Jimmy Fallon joked, "So apparently UMG sealed Kendrick Lamar's contract. Meanwhile, my landlord sealed my butt with duct tape." The crowd laughed, but the underlying point was clear. This drama had broken out of hip-hop circles and into mainstream culture. But the wildest reactions came from the fan wars. Drake fans spammed Kendrick's Instagram comments with snake emojis, while Kendrick's army retaliated by flooding Drake's posts with clown emojis. His entire Twitter Spaces hosted thousands debating who was telling the truth. One lasted over 12 hours straight, with fans screaming, crying, and even threatening to boycott UMG entirely. And then came the shocker. Spotify's official Twitter account cheekily tweeted, "Contracts aside, who y'all streaming tonight?" That one playful line threw gasoline on the fire, as fans accused streaming platforms of being part of the conspiracy. Some even launched campaigns to boycott playlists until UMG came clean. Insiders say UMG was rattled. A leaked Slack message from an alleged employee showed panic. The backlash is getting out of hand. We need to control the narrative or risk losing artist trust. Whether real or fake, fans believed it, and that belief was enough to spark more chaos. Meanwhile, smaller artists began speaking out. One up-and-coming rapper tweeted, "If they can manipulate numbers for legends, imagine what they do to new artists like us." That post went viral, gaining solidarity across the indie community. Suddenly, Drake's war wasn't just about him, it was about every artist who ever felt exploited. But perhaps the most shocking public reaction came when Jay-Z, usually silent in public beefs, allegedly liked a tweet that read, "The industry's dirtiest secrets always come out. Always." Fans screenshot it before it disappeared, sparking rumors that even Hav was indirectly weighing in. By this point, the industry was fractured. Some execs defended UMG, saying the rumors were baseless. Others whispered off the record that Drake was right, and the label was hiding skeletons too dangerous to see daylight. One music journalist summed it up perfectly. "This isn't a beef anymore. This is a reckoning. The Drake-UMG war has cracked. Open the door, and what's behind it might shake the foundation of the entire industry." And just when fans thought the drama had peaked, one last tweet pushed the tension even higher. An anonymous account, known for leaking accurate industry tea before, tweeted, "The contract isn't the only thing sealed. Another bombshell is about to drop." The cryptic message racked up hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets, leaving fans trembling. Is there something even darker hidden beneath this saga? Is UMG protecting more than just numbers? Nobody knew the answer. But everyone agreed. The storm wasn't slowing down. It was just reaching its most dangerous peak. Just when fans thought they had heard every possible leak, twist, and theory about Kendrick's sealed contract, a final revelation dropped in. It was darker than anything before. Late one night, an anonymous document appeared on Pastebin, claiming to be a classified addendum to Kendrick's UMG contract. At first, people brushed it off as another fake. But when two major gossip blogs reposted screenshots, the internet went into meltdown. The alleged addendum didn't talk about money. It didn't talk about albums. It talked about control. One shocking clause read, "Artist agrees to participate in narrative restructuring initiatives to maintain dominance over cultural rivals." What did that mean? Fans immediately speculated it was proof UMG wasn't just managing music. They were scripting hip-hop history itself. Another clause, even scarier, supposedly detailed a plan for legacy phasing. According to the document, UMG had identified primary cultural figures who would be gradually pushed aside to cement Kendrick's status as the defining voice of the era. And right at the top of that list, a Drake. Within minutes, the screenshots spread everywhere. Fans screamed, "This is the smoking gun." Others claimed it was all fabricated to make Kendrick look like a puppet. But the damage was already done. Hashtags like #LegacyPhasing and #KDOTPuppet flooded Twitter, and for the first time, Kendrick's fans found themselves on the defensive. Meanwhile, Drake poured fuel on the fire with a single chilling tweet. "Told you they planned this years ago. Now you see it." No emojis, no photos. Just raw fury. The tweet hit 1 million likes in less than 2 hours, and news outlets scrambled to cover it. But here's where it gets even wilder. A well-known hacker collective dropped a statement claiming they had intercepted UMG's internal crisis emails. One alleged email read, "Control the leaks immediately. If the addendum circulates, we risk collapse. Legal team preparing for emergency injunction." Fans exploded if UMG really was panicking. That meant the addendum wasn't fake. Kendrick, however, stayed completely silent. No tweet, no statement, nothing. And that silence was deafening. Fans interpreted it in every possible way. Some said Kendrick was bound by the contract and literally couldn't speak. Others claimed he was sitting back, watching Drake crumble emotionally. A viral TikTok with millions of views said, Kendrick's silence is the loudest scream of them all. Then came the biggest cliffhanger yet. A mysterious source claiming to be inside the court system leaked a statement. The judge didn't seal the contract to protect Kendrick. He sealed it to protect the system. If the truth gets out, this isn't just music hits, federal. That one line shook the internet. What did federal mean? Were there government ties too? UMG's operations. Was this about money laundering, antitrust violations, or something even darker? Twitter was flooded with theories, some believable, some absolutely insane. One thread with hundreds of thousands of retweets argued UMG was connected to international finance, using artists as pawns in a billion-dollar shadow game. Another thread insisted the government was protecting UMG because a collapse would destabilize the global music economy. And the craziest part? Drake himself seemed to confirm the paranoia. In a late-night Instagram Live, visibly emotional, he told fans, "You think this is about rap beef? This is way bigger than that." They sealed the truth because if it came out, the whole world would change. Remember my words, the war's just starting. The clip instantly went viral, plastered across every platform. Fans cried, screamed, and argued in the comments. Was Drake exposing a global conspiracy, or was this just the meltdown of an artist who felt cornered? One thing was certain, the story wasn't over. The leaks, the protests, the silence from Kendrick, the panic from UMG, all of it pointed to something darker lurking behind the scenes. And now, with whispers of government involvement and the possibility of even more contracts being sealed, fans were left with one burning question. If this is only the beginning, what will the next bombshell reveal? And there you have it. The war between Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and UMG is no longer just whispers in the shadows. It's a blazing inferno that has spilled into courtrooms, contracts, and now, the very heart of the music industry itself. The contract is sealed, the truth is hidden, and the players at the center of this game are either silent or screaming louder than ever. But one question hangs heavier than all the rest. What's really inside those pages? Is Kendrick Lamar truly the chosen face of hip-hop, backed by an unstoppable machine pulling strings behind the curtain? Or is Drake orchestrating a masterful campaign, painting himself as the victim in a war where every leak, every twist, every whisper is part of his own strategy? And most importantly, why would a judge protect a label instead of the truth? We've seen fans flooding streets, celebrities throwing shade, and insiders risking everything to expose what lies beneath. But the biggest twist may not have even dropped yet. Think about it. If there's one sealed contract, how many more are buried in the vaults of UMG? And if those secrets ever surface, what would it mean for the future of hip-hop as we know it? Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Kendrick's silence means guilt or genius strategy? Is Drake a warrior for transparency, or a desperate king fighting to keep his throne? And here's the million-dollar question. If the government really is protecting UMG, what does that say about the power of this industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I'll be watching closely. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe for updates and turn on notifications because trust me, the next chapter in this saga will shake you even harder than this one. This isn't just drama. This is history unfolding before our eyes, and the storm, it's only getting started.